Yo, what's going on? We are back with the Moral Truth Podcast. It's myself, Joe, Kobe. What's up, y'all? Kobe, where you at, man?
Hey, I'm out here, y'all. We got that 4th of July weekend coming up.
Oh,
I know y'all are
hell
excited.
yes.
I'm
Yes.
excited.
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited to eat all the barbecue and everything. I'm excited. There's a fireworks shortage, so I won't get the privilege of blowing up my finger. So, but yeah, man, it's legit. Crazy. So check this out, man. Got the inbox, and somebody said, "What do you think are the stressors in a relationship?" And I said, I said, well, we'll talk about it. So I mean, Kobe, man, I can come off with a plethora of things about the stressors in a relationship because there are a lot of things, and I think, man, this would be like a part two subject because this can't be broke down in many ways. But Kobe, what's up, man? What do you think are some stressors in a relationship? Because I mean, we're gonna definitely concur and disagree with some of the stuff that I say, you say. I'm gonna more disagree with stuff you say because you be coming off the wall with some stuff. But nah, I'm just playing. But what do you got, man?
Well, I mean, it's funny you say that, man. I mean, I didn't even get to see the inbox with the stressors or whatever, but I recently, I said before in the podcast, I've been married for about 4 years now. And it's
Bada
been
boom, bada
smooth, man.
bang.
Like, I haven't had any real big issues or anything. The biggest challenge that I had was that my wife is a Filipino, and she's from the Philippines, and I am here from America. And that's been a cultural difference that's definitely put a stressor point on our relationship. And I think we said it before in the podcast too, we all know finances, finances put a
I
huge
mean,
stress on our relationship as
I'm gonna
well.
put that
But
on the higher echelon,
uh,
financials.
uh, yeah, pretty much. But recently I've had some stressors that come to light, man. It's so funny you brought that topic up. But recently, since I moved over to a different state, my wife is not working currently, so that has created a huge stress point in our relationship with, you know what I mean, being my wife now being a stay-at-home mom. That in itself, right there, is a huge change from being at work, all day, and significant other having those coworkers or those people, or kind of like I guess the relief, you know what I mean, from being at home all the time with the kids or whatever. So that has been a learning curve for me and a huge stress point in my relationship. So y'all out there, you know what I mean, if you got significant others and spouses, husband, wife, whatever, and they're a stay-at-home dad or mom, hey, shout out, because that is no joke. It ain't no joke.
I mean, that could be a stressor because, but you gotta remember there are some women who, you know, are proud to be stay-at-home moms. So that's I guess that's a 50-50 stressor because it actually depends on the person, because like, hey, if I'm used to grinding and then I get stop grinding, then obviously it's gonna change my flow. It's gonna make me a little bit, feel like my worth and everything else. Yeah, it'll throw you out the game. But those ones who are like, I am okay being a stay at home mom, cook, clean, baby, don't go to work. Like some of them, there's some that love that trash. So yeah, I mean that's I guess that could be a flip side one too. And we talk about that. I say stressors with that is a lot of stressors too. Social media is a big one. Um, I think that's going to be on the tier one. Besides that, communication, uh, lack of attention slash affection. Those those kind of come up me too as those could be stressors because I mean anything we bring up can actually divide a relationship and can actually divide a couple. I really don't think their bases off of really dividing. I think it's more just understanding and communicating. But like I said, hey man, like we talked about in relation before, this is 2022. People just like up and leave. Like, oh, I'm going. I'm going to the next party. But like, mm, I guess when you say the stay at home, and I guess that's just changing the whole dynamic of somebody's day to day routine. Because if my day to day routine was go to work, uh, do this, and then come at home and be dad. and I went from that to a stay-at-home dad, I think I would lose my mind because my grind and my purpose is gone. But how can you like reaffirm my purpose to me? You really can't, because in my head, my purpose was to be out there working, grinding, and that made my day. You know what I'm saying, Kobe? So I mean, I think that is the biggest part when you talk about your situation. I think that's a big thing, is that you know, they're now off their, you know, their routine. The routine has changed drastically.
Oh yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there. I mean, you guys let us know. You can throw in the comments. Maybe there's some more things you can add into that that might help with this. But all I know is that I didn't realize it. You know what I mean? That my significant other, you know, my wife was she was feeling it, man. She's just been staying at home with the kids all the time, cooped up, and it's been really hard for her, dude. And I had no idea. You know, I just go to work, and I'm still working, so I still do my thing. You know, I get up in the morning at 6, come home at 5. You know what I mean? I still got to mow the lawn and do all the things that I normally do, maintenance and everything else. So in my head, you know, I'm just going to work. You know, I'm making the money, and I'm, you know, breadwinning, doing my thing, and I'm getting the maintenance done I need to do to upkeep the house and, you know, take care of things. And I didn't even realize the whole time that, you know, her routine is you know, totally off par now, and she's just stuck at home, and she's like losing her mind pretty much. You know what I mean? I didn't see this. I wish I would have. So, you know, that's why I bringing it up. That is a huge, you know, stressor in a relationship, and it can kind of almost put distance between you and your significant other. So,
What?
fellas, if you're out there, you know, you got to be aware of that. You know, if your wife changes her routine and goes from being a stay-at-home mom to working full time, or, you know, your husband does, or however, just be mindful that that's going to be a huge change in their life, and it could create a lot of tension in your relationship.
So let me ask you this, Kobe, because I, you know, I'm just listening to you, and I feel like, okay, well, there's some reformation that you can, you know, give in this kind of scenario, and it's almost like you say, you have your routine, you're still going to work, you come home, mow the lawn, you taking the maintenance of the house. But what I neglected to hear was, are you helping inside the house with the kid? I mean, I imagine you are, but are you taking that pressure off? Meaning that, hey, because you know, kids are full time job too, so technically that's her job. She's just not getting paid for it. So basically, like when you get off work, I mean, are you making those sacrifices to say, hey, you know what? Go to the store, get some free time. Don't worry, I'm gonna get the kids, make them a meal, play with them, etc. You know, I feel like if you incorporate that into the routine, I feel like maybe that might be, you know, some easing factor for her, right? Because now you took some of the burden of the day to day process off her. Because I, at the end of the day, yes, I know you work your hours, you do that, but you know it doesn't stop there, unfortunately. Because when we have kids, it's like a 24/7 thing, so it does not stop. So let me ask you
Yeah,
that,
but
like, are we?
if you do that though, when do you get time to decompress? See, that's the issue that I'm running into now. That's why I bring
You
this up as a huge stress point. Is that if you're out there and you are going through the same thing, I mean, at what point do you take time for yourself? Then you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, and that's where the breakdown is. So I feel like this: when we have kids, you say time for yourself, okay? And we all know raising a kid is a big task. You got a lot of things to do, and I think that once you have kids, you know that you have to sacrifice things that you want to do because now you have the child, and you have to make sure that. And I think, and when you're smart, is you have to, you know, figure out where you're gonna make your time come from. Now, I'm not saying, hey, you come home and it's like 4 o'clock. You're like, hey, babe, take 4 hours and just disappear. No, not definitely saying that, but maybe she needs an hour or two to get away. You know, that's her time. Then you come back, and then you take the, you know, the back half of the hours. And I think that's where the team, that's where you might get your time from to decompress and be able to find some things that you have to do, because at the end of the day, yes, somebody's gonna take a hit because hey, stuff does have to get done around the house. You know, the house is not gonna clean itself. But I think it's just all about how you can manage that time to give everybody some time. And I'm like, I'm a big believer. Like, hey, once you put the child to bed, hey, use that time. Please use that time, because now they're asleep. Like, now let me get some things done. It might not be a lot, but hey, you know, you got to figure it out. But I mean, hey, I mean, how what do you do on that process, Cope?
Yeah, I mean, that would be a good way to start, and I guess in that process, as far as like given some time or whatever. There's times that I think my wife or whatever, and I'm sure everybody else out there, you let your wife goes out with her friends or whatever on the weekend, or you stay home watch the kids, and there's always that trade off. You know what I mean? So that's always there. I think the big thing that I left out here is that she wants to work. My wife wants to work. She wants to do her job or whatever, but. I'm sure people out there have the same situation. My wife is waiting on a visa in order to continue her job. She had a job in Arizona where, she was able to work, and then over here we're just waiting for it in the area that I'm at now. So that's a little bit different than most people's situation, but I'm sure there's other situations where your spouse might get let off, from their job, and they're currently out of a job. And
Right.
that's where you would end up having that stress point because it's something new and she does want to work, you know what I'm saying? So then there's also that frustration that, oh my God, I got to stay home. I don't want to do this. I want to work and make money and drive to work and have friends and have good lunches with my friends and have that time and that communication. You know what I mean? So it really does create a stress point. And again, like you said, maybe incorporating, some more time watching the kids or whatever, but it's not really because what I mean, with the amount of hours you work, and then when you come home and there's things that got to be done, yes, every day a mother and father should always spend quality time with their kids, and I do. You know, when I come home, I spend time with my kids and the wife and all of us together. But when she's stuck at the house the entire time, man, I swear you go crazy, you lose your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, you lose your mind. I think the definitely bigger concern is like it's always gonna be a team effort, and like you said, like you have two, and there's people who are doing it by themselves, like single moms, single fathers, and like
Oh, shout
imagine,
out because
and
that is
and,
no joke.
and you're talking about time, like there's no time, there's nobody to swap off with because you cannot have the wall watch your kid, but like you said too,
Oh
I think
yeah,
it for her like it is a definitely dynamic change, and then the purpose of that purpose, you have like I know she has plenty of credentials, so it's like wait, I got all these degrees, credentials, and for what I cannot use them right now, like that's not what I signed up for, because there's people who have kids, work, to pursue their passion, their dreams, and then that's what daycare for. So I think maybe she's in that area too, where she wants to she got dreams and goals, and the problem is she cannot achieve them because of the situation at hand, or the area where you live now, and that's killing it, man. That's killing it, and that's gonna be hard to help the situation because you can't help her achieve those goals. You just can't go and do X, Y, and Z, and I think that's more the communication boundaries between you and her about you know, hey, well, hopefully this happens so that this can happen. But in the meantime, what can I do to help you? Um, you know, so that way you can ease your mind and be able to have some free time to do what you need to do, or research and see what you can do that makes you feel passionate.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that like now that we're coming full circle to this, what pretty much what I was trying to get at, and the huge stressors that can be involved in something a similar situation like this is I'm sure there's different scenarios and all different kinds of setups out there, with all types of relationships. But when it comes to this, I just am now realizing that you really got to pay attention to your spouse and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I did
you're
not
supposed to.
realize what she was going through or what was happening. You know what I'm saying? Like every day I was just kind of going through the motions, spend the time with my kids when I come home, read them good night stories, give them kisses, hugs, whatever. And I'm just everything is still the same for me, but for her it's changed so much, and it's not in the way that she wanted it to. Unfortunately, it's kind of out of our hands, but fellas, ladies, you got to pay attention to your significant other because I didn't even realize it, what she was going through and, how much stress was being put on the relationship just because of what she's going through. You know what I mean? Her not being able to really change anything, and I couldn't really, I can't grant a visa or do anything. And you're right, her credentials are huge. She's got great credentials. It's a crappy situation, but in times like those, that's when the teamwork and coming together is the best thing you can do. But if you don't realize it, you know what I'm saying, that there's a stress point there for your spouse, not for you, it's for your spouse. You just can't be selfish, I guess. But I just didn't realize it until now, you know what I mean? So that's why it's hard talking about it and bringing it up, man, because I'm sure I'm not the only one.
Well, let me ask you this. So now, with this conversation at hand, like, what are you going to do to help facilitate the issue, or help combat it or soften the blow? Because I feel like there's really nothing you can help soften the blow, but ultimately, deep down for her, what I'm feeling is that possibly that she wants to get back into that workforce, and until that happens, you're gonna have to pick up those little pieces. So I mean, what is your plan moving forward?
So I think moving forward, just based on the conversations that my wife and I have had, I mean, I think for anybody's situation is you just gotta sit down and see what they need from you. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna take that extra effort. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta have probably set aside time. You're gonna have to sacrifice some things, but that's all. That's what relationships are all about. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you guys this in the real. This is my, this is real. This is real life. This is my personal stuff. But I am saying it to hopefully help some of you guys out there. But this is real. This is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have to sacrifice some of my time, or not even my time because it's always our time. When you're married, you got kids, it's our time. There is no my time. But I'm saying the things like mowing the lawn. Maybe I let the lawn grow for a day or two more. You know what I mean? Or maybe I do the maintenance on a boat or a car or whatever I got to do for oil changes or whatever, and I push them back a day or two, just to give that extra time to my significant other that I didn't know that she was needing. You know what I mean? To help her feel better, or maybe to go tell her to get her nails done. Just whatever I can do to alleviate some of the stress that she's under right now, because I didn't. She needs help, and I didn't realize it. That's where communication comes into. So more communication, giving her some more time, and maybe that'll help.
Mm, okay, okay. Well, I mean, part two, because I guess we have to follow up and see how all this pans out. I mean, honestly, I can put my 2 cents in, but I'll rather see how it pans out, y'all. And he did mention some good things. And if any of you guys are caught in a situation like this, I really think like Kobe said, you got to sit down, and evaluate it, see what's going on with your significant other, and help ease the situation. Because like for myself, I feel like in this event, you can ease it, but you cannot fix it. And I think a lot of us males, we are fixers, and we try to fix every situation, but we have to come to the realization that fixing every situation is not going to make it better. That's just putting a patch on the wound. The patch is eventually going to come off. So some situations you cannot fix, and we have to take that into consideration. All we can do is help the situation and aid it into hopefully getting better. Um, your fixer cannot be something that's that in that back into my head as a persona that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix, because when we're fixing it, I think we lose sight of our significant other. Exactly what do they want? They might not want to fix the problem. They just want to help because they want to fix their own problem. They just need help facilitating the problem, understanding the problem, so that way we better understand. And that way, the whole concept is that no one gets left out. But hey, we're gonna have a part two because I'm curious how this works out for Kobe, y'all, and I want to know what's gonna work out. So if he doesn't tell me, we're gonna have to get his wife on the line so we can figure this out with her, how this all breaks down. But hey, once again, y'all, I appreciate you guys for listening. Hit us up on the Gmail, the TikTok, the Instagram, the Moral True, Joe Kobe. Once again, we'll holler back at y'all.